So this is my setup, and it's the space that I've built piece by piece over the last couple of years. It's where I edit, relax, and basically spend all of my time. And today I'm going to be finally breaking all of it down. Today I'm going to finally break down the cost of the setup. I have a lot of comments asking about it, so today I'm going to break it down and tell you exactly how much everything costs. Spoiler alert, I didn't buy it all at once. It's also super important that you watch the whole video, as I'm going to be revealing any hidden costs, extra costs that you might not plan for, might not know about, and then at the end of the video I'm going to be showing the expensive stuff like my PC, monitors and all that good stuff, so stay tuned until the end. So first I'm going to break down the desk, and desks can either be super expensive or super budget depending on where you get them. Also, it depends what type of desk you want. A standing desk is generally going to be more expensive, but then a normal desk is probably going to cost less. In my case, it's just a standard IKEA countertop with an IKEA Alex drawer underneath, so together I think this comes to about £115, which is really budget and really cheap for a desk of this size, considering I also get a whole pair of drawers which I can store stuff in, like these old iPhone boxes I have here. Let me know down below if you guys also keep your old phone boxes. I always do, I don't know why. On to peripherals. My keyboard is a Corsair K70 Pro. I actually just got this keyboard. My last keyboard I had an old K70 and I actually ended up spilling a drink on it and I completely broke it. But besides the point, this keyboard was about £130. And then my mouse is a RYZEN Cobra, and I think this was around £50 when I bought it. And as well as these, I also have this extra large mouse pad which I think was about £20-30 when I bought it, so super budget. And next up, I'm going to be talking about all of my audio devices I have. Now, I have a few different forms of audio, speakers, headphones, and then obviously my microphone too, so I'm going to be breaking down the cost of all of these. I also like listening to music, so I ended up getting some pretty budget speakers for my setup. As you can see, I've got two speakers in stereo here. These are from PreSonus and they're the Eris 3.5 model. I think they're about £75, £100. I'm going to convert all these prices into US dollar as well to help you guys. These were budget and they sound really good. And my mic is from Fifine, and this is on a Maono mic arm. I think the mic arm was about £50 and the mic was about £60. It's honestly a great budget mic, but I think for the amount of voiceover I do, I think I might upgrade soon, maybe get an XLR setup, just because I want some crisper audio for my videos. And then my gaming headset is a Logitech G Pro X. It's the wired one, and I've had these for ages. They're super comfy, super well built. It's mostly a metal construction, and I think these were about £100 when I bought them. But that's all of my audio components, and in total that brings the cost of my audio devices to £310. And this is where the video begins to become more exciting, as we're getting into the more expensive stuff, starting off with my monitors. Now, when it comes to monitors, these can often take up a large portion of your budget for your setup, and they often get overlooked. You'll have all of your thoughts on building your PC. I've got this amount for my PC, I've got $1,000 for my PC, $2,000 for your PC. You buy all the parts and then you realize you've got nothing to visualize all of the parts in your PC, and then you have no monitor. In terms of price, my main monitor, my LG 1440p monitor, was around £280 when I bought it, and then my second one, which is a Dell 240Hz, as I've said, was about £240 when I bought it, so this makes a total of £420 just for the monitors. However, behind the monitors, I also have a monitor arm, and altogether, I think the monitor arm costed about £60 for the dual mount and everything included. But next up, we've got arguably one of the main factors of any desk, and that's the chair. Now, chairs are another place where you can either spend nothing or you can spend anything. Literally, chairs go from like $10 all the way up to thousands, and there's a lot of in between. And if you guys know your chairs, I'm going to be honest, this chair was one of the most expensive things of my desk. This came in at £600. Yes, I know that's absolutely crazy, and there's not really much justification for it. This chair is from Herman Miller and it's the sale model, and as I said, it was about £600, but there are a lot of benefits. It has lots of adjustment too. This here can make the seat go forward and back, and then this is for the backrest. You can adjust how much you want it to tilt back or lock in place. Also, this can tilt forward, and then obviously it has more basic features like up and down, raising and lowering the height, and then full adjustability on the armrests. But if there was one thing I want to be improved, I wish you could add a headrest. Some of the other Herman Miller models you can add a headrest like third party, but you can't actually do it on this. But I wish someone made a headrest you could add to this. And just before we get to the PC and I break down the price of that, a special mention, I don't think many people include this in price videos, but basically all of the cables you'll need and cable management stuff, that actually can add quite a bit to the cost. I'd say maybe about £150, because display ports, HDMIs, power supply cables, you're probably going to need to get longer power supply cables to reach your plug, and these are quite heavy duty cables and can cost a lot. So all of these combined with a few decorations I also have on my desk, like the plants, is around £150 to the total cost. Now for the part of the video which I guess most people have been waiting for, the price of my PC behind me. Now, quick disclaimer before we get to that, this is not a brand new build, as you will see by the parts. I think I built this in about 2023 when these parts were fairly new. So all the costs for this, I'm going to do it as when I bought it, sort of new. So then it's more realistic as if you were to build it today, as these prices, you can get them used now for a lot less, but I'm going to do all the prices as of when I bought it. Okay, so starting off with my case, now this is an NZXT H6 Flow and this was £90. And then my power supply is a 750 watt one from CORSAIR and I think this was around £80. And then my motherboard is a B550 from Asus ROG and I think this was £160 when I bought it. And then I have 4 sticks of 32GB CORSAIR Vengeance RGB Pro RAM, and this together I would say was around £250 when I got it. My CPU is a Ryzen 7 5700X and that was about £200. And then of course the most expensive thing on my setup I think is my graphics card, and this is an RTX 3080, but it's the 12GB. Normally they're 10GB, but they made a 12GB one after, and this was £800. So combining all the components of my PC together makes a total cost for the PC of £1,710, which to be honest for the PC it's actually quite a good PC, and especially when I built it like 2 years ago. £1,710, I'll obviously put the dollar conversion on the screen, but I actually don't think that's too bad. What do you guys think? And now, knowing the price of my PC, we can combine it with the price of everything else on my setup for a grand total of £3,645, or in US dollars $4,850, so almost $5,000 for the setup. What do you guys think of the price? Did you expect it to be more or lower? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.